parliamentary library building there under those yellow cranes. They're actually building a fourth government building behind that one, hence the cranes. And again, that's just inside what was East Berlin, while we're standing just inside what was West Berlin. We're very close to where the border between the two Berlins used to run. The Berlin Wall actually stood on just the opposite side of this Reichstag building. So this was a part of the city that was very much sort of impacted by that division of Berlin. Now, to give you a little bit of background of why you had an East and West Berlin, I'll just come over here so you can all see this. Here's a map of what happened to Germany in the year 1945 following its defeat and unconditional surrender in World War II. Germany was absolutely crushed in the Second World War. There was no sovereign German state after the war. All of German territory was occupied and administered by the Allies, the victorious Allies. And you can see how they divvied up the shares of German territory. The British took a nice section up here, the Americans a nice section down here, the French had a little bit of a smaller section down here, closer to France, and then the lion's share actually went to the Soviet Union. You can see here the red section in the east. Now, other parts of what were Germany we know today as Poland. These territories here today belong to Poland, but had, before the war and during the war, belonged to Germany. In fact, during the war, as Nazi Germany expanded its continental European empire to encompass almost a quarter of the landmass of Europe, all of what is today Poland, of course, had been occupied by the Nazis and administered by them in accordance with their racial policies of extermination of the Jewish population and enslavement of the Slavic population. On the other side of this big extent of park, and it was there that Parliament met for one last meeting in order to pass something called the Enabling Act, which basically handed all of its power over to Hitler indefinitely. The vote for the Enabling Act required a 2/3 majority, and it was done with several members of Parliament already in prison, basically prisoners of the Nazi government. So it was an illegitimate vote. A vote sort of overshadowed by intimidation and terror that led to the handing of power to Hitler in 19. The Reichstag building as it looked in the year 1945. It's a very good photo allows you to really get a sense of the extensive damage to the building as a result of World War II. You can see it had this dome on its roof that had been already basically destroyed by the fire in 1933.